of the charge. Allegations before the court are that on 6th October 2019, 52-year-old Mrs. Piri of Waterfalls area in Chongwe and 34-year-old Shabi Chilekwa, a businessman of Chilanga, while acting together, murdered Lawrence Banda in Kauma district. Magistrate Hamaseke told the accrued persons that they had been charged according to Section 200 of the Penal Code, Chapter 87 of the laws of Zambia. Both Mrs. Piri and Chilekwa did agree before Magistrate Hamaseke that they understood the charge read before them. Magistrate Hamaseke explains the two could not say anything because they were merely before his court for explanations of the charge as the court awaits instructions from Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP. The two will appear in court on 10th March 2022 for mention whilst they remain in custody. Mrs. Piri becomes the second accused person to be charged with murder of Mr. Banda, the first being Shabi Chilekwa. The late Lawrence Banda was shot dead in Kauma in 2019 during the run-up to council chairperson by-election. Meanwhile, patriotic Front PF member Kambili has accused President Hakainde Hichilema of enduring investigations of Lawrence Banda's murder. The outspoken PF member claims that the investigations and arrest in Lawrence Banda's death unfolding according to President Hichilema's accusations at the funeral of the deceased.
In detention, and I went to prison for one of the 11 cases. I was sent to prison for not committing an offense at all, but because people just wanted me behind bars. I was charged for a forgery case that I never did, and ended up in prison for over 17 days before I escaped. Now, countrymen and women, after giving you this analog of things that used to happen in the previous administration, are we ready as Zambians to continue supporting illegalities and continue arresting people who have not committed offenses, capital offenses as it were? For instance, Honorable Muvi has this morning been charged by elections. We all know, including the president, knows that yes, Muvi might have been there. I don't have the facts whether she was there or not. But we all know that she might have been there. But she's not the person who killed Lawrence Banda. She's not the person who pulled the trigger to kill our brother Lawrence Banda.
Pope Francis has today, 25th of February 2022, appointed Reverend Father Raphael Mwempwa as the new bishop of the Catholic Diocese of Monze. The bishop-elect Father Mwempwa, a diocesan priest of the Diocese of Monze, was until this appointment serving at St. Dominic's Major Seminary in Lusaka as formator and lecturer. His appointment comes after the demise of Right Reverend Bishop Hamungole in January 2020. Wished him God's continued blessing as well as every success as he born on 30th March 1974. He did his primary education at St. Mary's Primary School and completed his secondary education in 1993 at Kanisha Secondary School in Monze. In 1994, he was accepted at Emmaus Spirituality Center in Lusaka to begin his seminary formation. In 1996, proceeded to study philosophy at St. Augustine's Major Seminary in Mpima, Kabwe, and in 1998, he proceeded to St. Dominic's Major Seminary in Lusaka for his pastoral and theological studies, where he graduated with a degree in theology in 2002. He holds a master's degree in canon law from the the Pontico Bagnana University in Rome, Italy. Father Mwempa has worked in various pastoral assignments in the Diocese of Monze. Republican Vice President Matalena Lumango says the government is worried about the safety of Zambians living in troubled areas. Mrs. Nalumango notes that Zambia cannot make a unilateral decision on whether to support Russia or Ukraine in the conflict. She says if any decision has to be taken, it will be done collectively with a regional or international organization. She was responding to a question raised by Patriotic Front PF Material Member of Parliament Mal Sampa in the National Assembly Friday morning during the Vice President's questioning time. Mr. Sampa to find out if lawmakers would start mobilizing youths from their constituencies to help either Russia nor Ukraine in the conflict.
Us one day sending youths to back up the side that we will send and if we will support, and if so, can we as MPs start mobilizing the youths to be on standby, the brave youths?
I think this question is unfair to yourself, Honorable, and to the Zambian people, so that we send your son to war. The world does not work like this. Anything to be done, it has to be collective. Not Zambia today we declare we are on the side of Ukraine or we are on the side of Russia. No, that is not the way countries operate today. Except I take this opportunity to say Zambia is concerned safety of the same youths who are in those places of conflict, Ukraine and Russia. We are concerned. Now, when we are trying to evacuate, you wanted to say, we are working. The president, as at yesterday, gave a directive that the people of the Zambians in Ukraine who
honorable members
should be evacuated back to Zambia. They total to about 141 known ones. There could be others that are not known. The concern, I thought, would be how safe are our people? What is government doing? Right now, there are even neighbors of Ukraine and Russia, and they are working collectively. They are making decisions collectively. And therefore, Zambia is part of international groupings. If any decision has to be made, it can only be made as a grouping. I am sure there is engagement in the SADC, there is engagement, everybody is observing in the African Union. If there is anything to be done, it has to be collective.
Third-year students at the University of Zambia Unza Ridgeway campus gathered at the main campus, Great East Campus, to air out their grievances. Speaking on behalf of the residents on Unzasu Ridgeway campus, President Chimuka Simbonga says the decision by management to move the students from Ridgeway campus to Great East Road campus has not been received well by his fellow students.
Over-enroll. Right now, first years in School of Medicine, there are 4,000. Now look around. Even this larger campus in the rest of Zambia, it has only 3,000 bed spaces. Medical school only can occupy all of them and extras remain. Where are they going to learn from? And that is the quality we need in this country. And we are not going to be threatened by people who want to destroy the medical training in this campus and then go ahead and tell us that we are going to suspend you because you are opposing us. They sat in Senate and made a decision that they are changing to 6 years. And they over-enrolled. And now when I tell him that, why did you over-enroll? He tells me that I'm going to suspend you. For what? This time around, you don't even have good relationship with lecturers. Because the whole anatomy department has only 2 lecturers against 1,500 medical students. Have we ever seen that? Can we have better doctors out of this? No. Can Zambia have 10 years from now? Are we going to have better doctors? No matter how much the government tries to build hospitals, as long as people who are going to treat people there are incompetently trained, they are not going to see better services in this country. Quality education, number one. Number two, give back lecture theatre at Ridgeway campus to fourth year class. Yes. You want to bring computers and the students have nowhere to learn from. What kind of thinking is that? These students are not going to attend any class on Monday until the university provides transport to move them from Ridgeway campus to Great East Road campus and move them back to Ridgeway. If provided, their parents should be ready to spend their monies every day a 50 kwacha on top of the 35,000 kwacha they already paid for. They should be ready for that. The whole Zambia has to know that Ridgeway campus needs, I think it needs better people to run School of Medicine, just like other schools. Being an adult to earning respect. Just because I question his decisions, he thinks I do not respect him. He thinks I'm undermining him. No, it does not mean that if an adult, a young person cannot question you. Because that is to do with our lives. Why should we fail me? Yes, that is what Dr. IBK is known for. That is what he has been doing all the years he has spent at Ridgeway campus. He has been failing people. He has been fixing people. Now I'm not going to allow that to continue happening. And we are not going to allow that to continue happening. And will not allow any people that are in these institutions to threaten young people who come to attend quality education. We are calling upon the Ministry of Higher Education to come on board, come to Ridgeway campus, sit down with the current dean and solve this. Otherwise, we are not going to accept this. And we are calling upon the Ministry of Health, we are calling upon the Ministry of Education to come at Ridgeway campus and look at what.
A 21-year man of Wilembe village, Chief Munkata's chiefdom of Kawamba district in Wapula province, has been sentenced to 14 years imprisonment. Mansa High Court sentenced Clement Kunda for defiling 16-year-old Ruth Kabwe and her cousin to 14 years with hard labor. Mr. Kunda, who dragged Ruth in the bush, was caught in the act by a passerby.
Chapter 87 of the Laws of Zambia, as amended by Act Number 15, a 21-year-old man of Kawamba district in Wapula province has been sentenced to 14 years imprisonment with hard labor for defiling an imbecile who happens to be a cousin. Particulars allege that Clement Kunda on 22nd April 2021 in Kawambwa had unlawful and carnal knowledge on Ruth Kabwe, having the knowledge that she was an imbecile, contrary to Section 139 of the Penal Code, Chapter 87 of the Laws of Zambia, as amended by Act Number 15 of 2005 and read with Act Number 2 of 2011. In mitigation, Judge Emilia Sunkutu considered the mitigation rendered on his behalf and found one aggravating, as the prosecutrix was a cousin, but exercised lenience in view of circumstances of the case where the imbecile was defiled by so many people but was the one caught up red-handed. Helen Chisha reporting for Muvi TV News in Mansa District.
The Ministry of Justice has cleared off the principal mound due to all former Zambia Railways Limited workers amounting to 19.4 million kwacha. Minister of Justice Malambo Haimbe reviewed during a press briefing in Lusaka. The government no longer owes the former Zambia Railways workers anything. Mr. Haimbe says that the payment of the terminal benefits and the interest accrued to former Zambia Railways workers is in line with the government's commitment to clear payments or benefits for all former workers. He states the delay in paying terminal benefits to people who have contributed to the development of the country subjects them to unnecessary and avoidable poverty. Mr. Haimbe says the government will continue paying former government employees their benefits whenever resources are available. He has since called on all former employees to remain patient as government works out modalities to clear outstanding arrears. On that note, we go for our first set of commercials. Stay tuned.
They'll play a high press to force the mistakes.
They'll dominate the aerial ball. They too tall. We'll handle the pressure and smash them on the break.
The number 9 has scored in their last 5 games.
The passing will be quick, decisive, precisely. There will be drama in the dying minutes. This match will mean more than 3 points.
They will have the home ground advantage. This is why I bet.
This is why I bet. This is why I bet. Betway.
Travel to and from South Africa with Rwanda Air as we offer 20% off discount for flights. Sales period between 25th January to 28th February. Buy your tickets now. Rwanda Air. Fly the dream of Africa.
The answer is yes.
She said yes! 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 She said yes!
Chawama. Congrats, bro.
What?
We'll be there. Last Sunday of next month.
Ew, are you here?
You may give her the ring.
Everyone, say Tufi Life.
Tufi Life!
One day, I'll give you the one.
Oh, you already have.
Welcome back. We'll continue with the news. United Party for National Development UPND Lusaka Province Chairperson Obvious Malitator has asked for patience among young people in the country. Mr. Malitator claims that the new Dawn administration is executing its mandate to create a conducive environment for the creation of employment in the country among the many unemployed young people. Speaking to Muvi TV News, the former provincial minister Front administration notes the UPND government has only been in power for 6 months and should be given enough time to settle and begin to create jobs. He emphasizes that President Hakainde Hichilema has not forgotten the youths that voted during the 12 August 2021 general elections. The Lusaka provincial chairperson recalls even when the Patriotic Front formed the government in 2011, led by late President Michael Sata, it took a long time to start empowering the youths.
Is working extra hard to ensure that the youths will be looked after, but it's difficult just to wake up and start doing things, giving the youths this and that. There must be some guidance, there must be some guideline, there must be a lot of things to put in place. At the moment we're in the process of putting things in place so that youths can benefit. But also, Zambian politics have changed. We are not going to behave like PF Gaddafi. We have to behave like Zambian people wants to be empowered in a right way. Okay? And Zambian and look, youths in Lusaka province, you've not been forsaken. We know we have pain, but it's not only you who are feeling the pain. I think most of the youths, even ordinary youths, even youths who are not part of us, they are also going through the same problems. So if we follow the directive of the President of Uniting, we should take this pain we are going through, all of us.
An energy expert, Boniface Zulu, has called on government to immediately return subsidies on fuel in order to question the possible price increment for the month of March 2022 on the Zambian people. Mr. Zulu warns of the possibility of an increment by the regulator through its monthly fuel prices, following tension between Russia and Ukraine. The tension has already triggered the rise in the price of Brent crude by more than 20%, likely to affect Zambia's fuel pump price. In North Ukraine being the country where crude oil is sourced from, the commodity price on the global market might increase and Zambia will not be exceptional. Mr. Zulu further says the increment of fuel prices will cause some buying fuel at an increased price, hence the need for government to intervene by returning subsidies to the commodities.
So, as we have seen with the disturbance within Ukraine as well as Russia, there will be obviously we are going to experience a hike in fuel prices, as Zambia has always been getting fuel or buying fuel from Ukraine. And of course, with this, we are going to see a destabilization in the global oil prices, which are going to be hiked, which is going to later on affect Zambia itself, because the Zambian pumping price is going to obviously be hiked when it comes to pumping of fuel, due to the fact that
another energy expert, Johnston Chikwanda, says Zambia should brace itself for consequences, especially in the energy sector, arising from the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Mr. Chikwanda says that the world has already seen a barrel of crude oil exceed $100, the highest in recent history. Speaking in a phone interview with Muvi TV News, Mr. Chikwanda says Zambia, like many other oil-importing countries, cannot avoid the likely increase in fuel prices. He has, however, advised the government to avoid re-implementing subsidies on fuel to mitigate the impact of price increase.
There is no longer speculation or doubt on what Russian President Vladimir Putin wants to do with Ukraine, as he has started his offensive against that country. According to Al Jazeera, Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky says he is the target in the war when the world's strong forces watched.
Право наодинці, як і вчора, найпотужніші сили світу спостерігають здалеку. Чи переконали Росію вчорашні санкції? Ми чуємо у своєму небі і бачимо на своїй землі, що цього недостатньо. За наявною у нас інформацією, ворог позначив мене як ціль номер.
Meanwhile, the United States and United Kingdom have issued sanctions on Russia, while it has also issued counter-sanctions targeting the UK's registered planes who have been barred from landing or flying over Russia. Business-wise, the world on Wednesday saw crude oil prices per barrel slightly exceed $100, a recent time high before setting around $99 on Thursday and Friday. And a local energy expert, Johnston Chikwanda, says Zambia is likely to suffer from the consequences of the Russian-Ukrainian conflict, because Russia is a key player in the world oil market.
What might even aggravate the situation is the extent of the sanctions, because the sanctions as are being announced and imposed on Russia, I get the impression that they are going to cover petroleum products as well, which is the energy. And you know, Russia is one of the global giants in the petroleum, in the oil industry. So if there is going to be sanctions, it means that the inventories, the global inventories, are not going to have contribution from Russia, just like we have not been having contribution from Iran, which is under sanctions at the moment.
Mr. Chikwanda has, however, cautioned against implementing subsidies on fuel due to the conflict in Ukraine.
Importing country, other than to increase the pump prices. Otherwise, the government, if they can't do that, then they will slide into subsidies. And we don't know how long this is going to take. And so introducing subsidies can be very, very damaging to the national budget, because they were not planned for, and I wouldn't even encourage government to go that route.
For Muvi TV News, I'm Afias Kaptula in Lusaka.
A resident of a Kazomba compound in Solwezi Northwestern Province has appealed to government and other well-wishers to help her attain her academic dreams. Rhoda Saisaka narrates since 2017, when she completed her secondary school education, she has failed to go to any tertiary schools due to her parents' inability to pay for her tuition fees. She says despite having good results, her greatest hindrance to a higher education is lack of financial aid.
Na menshi lishikola mu 2017 nakolo kanyama na olomba kumani kudinyu don government na miyunkwasha kunekana pepe iwa intari kumudimudu wejima yatera kunkwasha na iri kuni upolisi aka imani kutemuka tenu kuma interview janda manda mwekeno wa ina kulomba since 2017 up to now idimu ya mweka na ngawani na kulomba kudi new government new don atukwashiku antiri ruwe nene muntu wambanda nukusumbuka na muntu wakwira we yare chipapoki naona kenu kwashenga family ya mina mama yanda kabakana antiri mwani do antiri usho ndina pepe ya yuwai na kulomba kuti MP wetu wa munu atwitali manana new government doni atwitiri ru hadana na kutira ruwana na kutira ushoni netu mana atwitiri ru hani pepa yami antiri mwani ru mudu wejima lera police lera usoje lera wanka wejima nukuya nera kwa police dijejima ja ubaze lera janka yuwa.
The Mansa Ward Development Committee has appealed to government to extend the boarding schools and skills application for bursaries between schedules, which elapsed today, Friday. Committee Chairperson Treasure Mazuba tells Muvi TV News there is need for government to extend the boarding and skills application period scheduled to end on 25th of February 2022, and Committee Secretary Douglas Musonda discloses the committee has only received 20 applications from Kaole Zone. He attributes the low application to inadequate information among the residents on the matter.
With the introduction of free education by government, it has also given opportunities to those that would want to go to boarding schools or want to acquire a skill, but are required to apply for those bursaries in their respective ward. For Mansa, the exercise started 2 weeks ago. Mansa Ward Executive Committee Chairperson takes us through how the exercise has been.
Because some of them, they are not complying to the rules. They are first starting with the upper members, as they say, and then they call me. They just want their forms to be signed without passing through the zone representatives. We love that transparency should be there. So I always turn them back, tell them to go back to the zone, to their zones, so that they can bring them to me to approve, not going direct to the MPs or the councillors.
The executive secretary for the same ward also explains how the turnout has been.
After number to amboko ya kuma cheichi to avilisha na kuma radio to apera announcement ero number pa number want to ishwa kwatikanshi kuri. So in the time period tulikuma last one number ero basaka mukabeni. So far pa nimpokelera mafunzo kufuma kuri zone yimo, which is Kaole zone. We are hoping to receive more applications.
They are appealing on government to extend the exercise period, as many got the message late but would want to be part of the beneficiaries.
We would like the government to extend, because most of them, they haven't come through. Extend at least 1 week. It was because of the late announcement. We didn't announce in time because we were not given a go-ahead to announce in time. So many people, they didn't know about it. They just knew about it today. Some of them knew about it yesterday. So they
got for 1 week, another 1 week, so that instead of Friday, at least the Friday, nishi abantu abengi barashita apply. Because program
the exercise is scheduled to end on Friday, 24th February 2022. Helen Chisha reporting for Muvi TV News in Mansa.
You are still watching Muvi TV's primetime news. We take a break on that note. See you shortly.
Anyone can get lucky.
Istana ya Afrika ya kupende chalo akamwana kanono nomsepela kuikala chapamo kulibe kumunzi kulibe mutauni kumatero.
The Zambia Statistics Agency will this year conduct the census across the country. The census aims to count people in households, rural and urban, hospitals, military, police and correctional facilities. This numbering will extend to hotels, farms, as well as high-density areas with different families sharing a house and those in transitory locations. Every person in the country matters and should be counted because the census will benefit all, from migrants, refugees and street children, homeless people, the young and the old people, as well as persons with disabilities. Everyone counts. This message is brought to you by the Zambia Statistics Agency.
Fairview University College is enrolling students for the January-April 2022 intake in the following: School of Education, Bachelor of Education in Early Childhood Education, Bachelor of Education in Primary Education, Bachelor of Education in Secondary Education, Bachelor of Education in Special Education, Diploma in Early Childhood Education, Diploma in Primary Education, Diploma in Secondary Education, Diploma in Special Education, Certificate in Early Childhood Education, School of Humanities and Social Sciences, Diploma in Public Relations, School of Hotel and Tourism, Diploma in Front Office, Diploma in Food and Beverages Management, Diploma in Hospitality and Events Management, and Diploma in Sales and Marketing. For more information, visit us at Regent College along Kwazi Road or the North Mid Campus at plot number 11 Luamba Road, Lusaka, or call us on 0955 787 14 or 0966 787114 or 0977 787114. Fairview University College. We aim at excellence.
Welcome back. We'll continue with the news. Director of Foreign Trade, Commerce, Trade and Industry, Bessie Chelemo, says the media is key partner to grow trade in the country. Mrs. Chelemo says the government through the ministry implements various trade policies that are aimed at growth and removal of trade, but remain unknown due to lack of. Mrs. Chelemo called on editors to help highlight
National Health and Safety. Luapula Province Deputy Permanent Secretary, who graced the occasion, encouraged contractors in the province to perform according to government's expectations.
We want you to win a contract and work within. Work it favorably. We don't want chekelam. We don't want shortcuts. We don't want shortcuts. We want proper work to be done so that even tomorrow you are given another contract. And we've been convinced the nation that Luapula na isumuka na ikwatama contractors yali kwa yaibombera.
And National Council for Construction acting training manager says they decided to conduct the training to local contractors in the province after seeing the need to.
We actually came to Luapula because we saw that there was a need. Contractors were lacking in skills of contract management, site supervision and occupational health and safety. So we conducted a 5 days training where we concentrated mainly on site supervision and contract management. The salient features of the course in terms of contract management, we received the overwhelming response in Luapula province. Almost all the constituencies in Luapula province attended. We trained upward 75, if I'm not mistaken, contractors from different constituencies.
And one of the participants, who is also a youth, called on other youths to take advantage of such opportunities.
And I'm even appealing to my fellow youths outside there that let us not leave the job for others to think, no, it's contractors for elder people, those who are old, what need to come on board, especially that is in the new government. There's an introduction of a new ministry under small and medium enterprise. That is very encouraging because that ministry, particularly to me, my understanding is that it is actually trying to bring the youths on board so that we're able to take on the task.
Helen Chisha reporting for Muvi TV News in Mansa District.
We'll take a break on that note. Still to come is more news items. Do not go away.
On the pitch of life, you've got to choose your game and who you play with. Your people. You get what I mean?
Oh, that is so true, Mr. Easy.
Because when you need a bit of support, there's the people you can count on. People who are there for you, no matter what.
Guess we are always here for them.
Choose who to play with.
With Bet Power, you can chat, message, or call real people round the clock. This advertisement is brought to you by Bet Power.
Where's Bob? Anyone seen Bob? Has anyone seen Bob? Bob? Bob! Bob!
Over here.
Where?
Over here.
How did you get in there?
With my Airtel Money MasterCard.
Airtel Money MasterCard? But you don't even have a bank account. How did you get a card?
Well, it's not a card, but it works just like one. It's virtual, so no plastic, and it's safer.
But what are you doing there?
I want to buy Nancy birthday gift, book my flight tickets, renew my Big Click subscription, and order a shipment.
For all things online, the Airtel Money MasterCard. It's not a card, but works just like one. Get one on the Airtel Money menu on your phone.
Travel to and from South Africa with Luan Air as we offer 20% off discount for flights. Sales period between 25th January to 28th February. Buy your tickets now. Luan Air. Fly the dream of Africa.
Welcome back, and now the rest of the news. Youth, Sports and Arts Permanent Secretary Chileshe Kangwa has called on all parents, brothers and sisters to create a deliberate awareness program of mental health and other related challenges faced in homes. Speaking at the March past dubbed Inside Out meeting at the University of Zambia, Unza, Mr. Kangwa says the government is committed in promoting mental wellness to the public through the Ministry of Health and its collaborating partners. He says the movement is to help mothers struggling with postnatal depression, young people in schools, people facing stress and anxiety at workplaces. Mr. Kangwa adds that the challenges of mental health can strike anyone and undermine the welfare of the country.
Suicide itself is not a mental disorder, but one of the most important causes of suicide is mental illnesses, depression, and substance that use are associated with an increased risk of suicide. It is therefore that the Permanent Secretary for Youth, Sports and Arts, Chileshe Kangwa, says that mental challenges were more pronounced in the 21st century than any other time in the history of the world. He says the World Health Organization predicts that by 2030, depression will be the leading cause of diseases around the world, who also reveals that suicide is among the leading cause of death among 15 to 29 years of age globally. Speaking at the March past doomed Inside Out meeting at the University of Zambia, 25th February 2022, Mr. Kangwa also added that such initiatives of the March past are a glimmer of hope for the subject of mental health in Zambia.
It is imperative that as a nation we provide the help required to support anyone experiencing mental health challenges. The family is the unit, the bedrock of any nation. I therefore call upon my fellow parents, brothers, sisters, and aunties and uncles to create deliberate awareness about mental health and related challenges in our homes. As the saying goes, prevention is better than cure. We need to remove the stigma, because in our country, most things that are new are usually stigmatized.
Meanwhile, the University of Zambia Vice Chancellor Dr. Lazarus Siatwambu says it is a sad situation to see more people lose their lives committing suicide because of mental issues, and says there is a need to put up a solution to end suicide. Dr. Siatwambu has further urged all Zambians to stop ending their lives, but rather should continue supporting one another.
They say there is always a solution to any problem. Do not take your life.
We are also sending a message to all Zambians out there. Zambians, in a certain way, we have become murderers through what we call cyberbullying. We are sending a message to the nation at large to say, let us stop cyberbullying. Let us not put the last nail on the coffins of those that are yet to take their lives through cyberbullying. Let us be empathetic to one another as Zambians. As Zambians, we believe in Ubuntu, in supporting one another.
Caroline Mwanza reporting for Muvi TV News, Lusaka.
Some Socialist Party members in Livingston have ditched the opposition party and joined the ruling United Party for National Development UPND. Speaking when he received the said defectors, UPND District Chairman Christopher Siamwenya says the ruling party is ready to embrace any new members who are willing to work with it. Mr. Siamwenya adds that UPND will not discriminate anyone because it is a party for Zambians and it will ensure development is taken to every corner of the country. And the former Southern Province Minister Alice Simango, who was one of the defectors, pledged to work closely with the ruling party and urged the party members to fully welcome them back.
Especially party officials, that the time to grow is now. We should not wait for 2026. The time to grow the party is now. I want you to seriously take that information. Honeymoon is over. The people of Zambia have put us in power. We are now there to grow the economy of this country. Madam Guest of Honor, let me once more thank you for being here and thank all of you who have made it to this occasion. Having said this, it is now my honor and privilege to hand over the mic to the Master of Ceremony.
We end the news on that note. A recap of the top stories. Mumbipiri formally arrested and charged with murder. Pope appoints a new bishop for Monze. Man gets 14 years for defiling a minor. Miles questions VIP on possible mobilization of youth over Russia-Ukraine conflict. Energy expert warns of high fuel prices due to Russia tensions with Ukraine. Thank you so much for watching the news. Continue enjoying the rest of our programming.
brave only